What's up, C4 fam? This is Sean Smith from Drippin' in Black Productions, and this entry is what we call the last drip. It's the last segment of our episode, which relates our guest to some historical figure or event in history, and is given by our host, David V. Lewis, who is also a Black history teacher, so he gets to flex his muscles in another way as well. So I hope you enjoy this entry, may do a few more. So enjoy, peace, and be well.
All right, thanks again to KaLena Livingston for coming on to the Drippin' in Black podcast. Such a warm and passionate spirit, specifically for her people. And just glad she was able to come on and we were able to talk and showcase the things she's up to. But of course, we have reached that moment in the episode that we call the last drip. And by now, you know, this is the last opportunity to squeeze in Black excellence before we leave you. And we tie it in with our vast, fantastic African-American history. All right. So based on KaLena's love for her people and real estate, it led me to this remarkable story of a legendary California real estate mogul by the name of Bridget Biddy Mason. There's a lot of information on her out there, so I'm sure there's quite a few people that know who she is, but she's still one of the lesser known and needs to be better known persons in our history. So let's talk a little bit about her. Mason was born in August 15th, 1818. She was born in slavery. She was born in Mississippi. She was held as a slave in Georgia, South Carolina, and Mississippi before she actually gets taken to Utah or Utah Territory in 1848. A few years after that, the slave holder takes her and her family to California. This is where the story gets really interesting because California gets admitted in 1850 to the United States as a free state. All right. And so by the end of 1855, due to some rumblings and some issues that the slaveholder was having, he was thinking about moving his family as well as his slaves to Texas for fear of actually losing his slaves to their freedom. And Mason gets wind of this, and so she decides that she's going to sue for her freedom. And of course, she's encouraged by a lot of freed persons, a lot of African Americans that are free in California, kind of put her up on that she can actually sue for her freedom. And so she does that. And then in January 1856, the Los Angeles District Court would rule in Mason's favor. And her family she had like a 13-member extended family on the basis that slavery was prohibited in California. Very interesting story. I'm not doing it complete justice. I'm gonna urge you to kind of look her up to get the full details of the story. But in essence, she wins her case. And then as a free person, again, this is where the story really takes a huge turn. She already had the skill of a midwife and some other skills, a nurse. And so she would start earning her keep with those skill sets. And she would save enough of her earnings to buy a piece of land in 1866. And then from there, she would go on to purchase, rent, and sell properties in what is now known as downtown Los Angeles. She would also found a daycare center for children, for local working mothers. She donated food and money to the poor. And in 1872, she helped organize the first AME church in Los Angeles. It's still the oldest and one of the largest Black churches in LA today. She passed away in 1891. She had amassed a fortune of about $300,000, which is approximately $6 million today, making her one of the richest women in Los Angeles. All right, so again, another beautiful story about history. She goes from slavery to an entrepreneur to a real estate mogul and a philanthropist. Bridget Biddy Mason is this episode's last drip. And so I just want to leave it there. Thanks again to blackpast.org, la.curb.com, and aclunc.org for the knowledge. All right. As always, I encourage you to look out for your own history. Don't limit yourself to what the schools are teaching you. There's a plethora of information out there if you're seeking it. But until next time, as always, be good, be good, be good. It is a choice.